Hey guys, Skybird here, and today is Christmas, so Merry Christmas or Happy Holidays. And this probably isn't going to go up today, but it will be going up probably tomorrow. We'll see how that happens, but today I just wanted to go ahead and try and make a Rahi or to make a combination model, I guess. So it's kind of a let's build Rahi live thing. And I don't know. I thought it'd be kind of cool to do in front of camera because it's not really something I'd done before. I do have an idea of what I want to build, which is why I picked these two. And when I say that, I don't mean I've built it. I haven't. But I know what parts that I want to use, most notably these Nuhvok claws, as well as the Gahlok shield pieces, because I do know the head build that I'm going to be doing. It's one I designed a couple of days ago. So it gave me this idea because combiners are kind of a step above when it comes to trying to make Rahi and make Rahi that look good, but also fit in with the aesthetic of the island. So let's go ahead and start taking some of these apart while we're talking. Um, so yeah, Galak is also a really good one because the blue color is just a very bright and vibrant color, but it also gives us those orange eyes, which I plan on using for a beak for the actual bird itself. Originally, I wanted to do Korok because Korok has these Borak teeth pieces, and then I realized so do all of the other Borak. So why bother, you know? Korok wasn't really going to give us anything else, and Nuhvok and all of the other Borak Va except for Galak Va has a specific connector in the torso that I planned on using for this head build. So Galak Va was out, but Galak was in. So let's go ahead and just kind of put some stuff around. I'm going to try and make this as easy to tell where things are as possible, but I know it's not all going to fit in frame by any means. Trying to work around a camera here and work around stuff on my desk, which is never fun, but also trying to see my camera when all the stuff is right here in front of me, like the stop button, the pause button, the focus button. It's just it's regrettable. But anyway, so yeah, Nuhvok also I should mention is my favorite Borak Va. I don't know, I just think there's something really charming about a Borak with massive hands. Like he wants to throw hands, he can, but he doesn't because he's cute and he's small and he's a good guy, of course. He just blends in with the bad guys. But yeah, I don't know. So I don't know if you guys were familiar with BZP back in the day, BZ Power, back in the day when they were doing the what was it? Those poorly drawn Bionicle things. I don't know. It was probably back around like 2010 to 2013, somewhere in that area. I don't know exactly when. And yeah, so my first ever poorly drawn Bionicle was Nuhvok Va, and my idea was, okay, well, he dropped his wallet, but he can't pick up his change because his hands are so big, so he can't get his hands around the pennies and stuff. Like that would be the worst thing about his entire life would be that he'd drop his wallet. I don't know, it's just something silly and novel about that. And I think I did some other ones. I remember doing one with the Fusa, which is a kangaroo set from the Master Builder set, one of my favorite sets from Bionicle, and doing that one with like boxing gloves, and then I can't remember. I did some other ones too, but I don't know. I thought Nuhvok Va was definitely my favorite. It was also my first, so there's something a little bit kind of nostalgic about that as well. So let's go ahead and get these off here. Nuhvok also is going to give us 3 of the number 2 axle, which I'm not sure is relevant, but some of the Borak Va have, well, 3 long axles for their neck, and some of them have 2 long axles for their neck. And so I figure with the abundance of 3 long axles that we have from the Borak, we probably don't need an extra from the neck. But maybe, you never know. We'll see. I do have a plan for at least 2 of those axles, so that's why I figured getting a third would be a good idea. But also, the Borak Va give us a couple of friction axles, which is always good. I don't really have any plans with them yet, but that may change. So, go ahead and take those over here. And those are expensive little pieces too. It's crazy. Obviously, I wouldn't recommend buying them by themselves. Like unless you wanted a really large quantity, then like maybe, but just buying lots is a much easier way to acquire them. Just buy sets from 2002 and you're usually pretty good to go. So where did I put that? Right there. All right. So that's everything apart. It's easy enough, I think, and our head build is actually going to start with one of these Borak feet. So this is actually what I designed, if I can use that word here real quick. Let's see. So interestingly, there are no double-sided pins in Borak or Borak Va, so I have to do a little bit of a strange assembly here. So what we're going to do is do the Gahlok shield and put one of these orange pieces on the front here. That's actually going to be our beak, and so that's why I chose orange, because orange is just a very familiar color for me with beaks. And we're going to throw, let's see, one of these friction pins and a connector there. And what's going to happen is we'll line up that hole right there. I'm trying to get this focused, but I'll line up that hole with that axle hole, and then take two of these number 2 axles and stick them in here. So they're not going to go all the way in because we're going to connect something to them, but because there are no 4 long axles in either of these, 2 long axles will have to be our substitute, I guess you could say. And we'll just give it some green eyes, because green is a good color. And it's a very vibrant color, so they'll really shine underneath that. But that's our head. That's our head design that we're going with. So this is the head design from my ostrich build, which I designed, I guess, like 2 or 3 days ago now. I don't remember exactly. And I love it. And I thought it was a really cool build, but it's also really cool because you can make this with a combination of Borak and Borak Va. And combiners are just always so difficult to try and make, so I didn't want to let it go, if that makes sense. So of course we'll keep the idea of that ostrich in our mind, but we're not going to be building an ostrich. We're going to be building a smaller bird. I kind of like the idea of this chunky big head on a really small bird, like a I don't even know, a finch type bird or something. So I wasn't sure exactly what I wanted to do for wings, because these could be our wings, but then I don't know exactly what I want to do for our body, you know? So like these could also be our wings. But because we used one of our Borak shields, we've only got one of each left. So I think we're going to save one of those for like the belly or something, or the back of it. So I think these are going to be our wings. This will probably be our body. I think that's how that's going to work. Let's see here. That's part of the fun of trying to build things live. But let's go ahead and use one of these Borak limbs first. I should mention, too, that my computer's just asleep, so we're praying that I don't hit one of these buttons to turn it on. But it'll happen, I'm sure. I should do a count on it, see how many times I hit one of those buttons. So what we can do here is just take one of those back off. See, because we can put this on here, and then we get our head on something, and then we could maybe do something like this here, maybe. I don't know, that could work. I think that could work. So if we do something with a 5-axle through here, I don't know if that's gonna work. I mean, yeah, I mean that could work. Yeah, let's go with that. You know, let's try it. So if we'll do one of the 2 axles on this side, and we'll do that friction axle on the other, or the friction pin axle on the other side. We'll throw this on here. We'll throw this one on the other side of it. And what that's going to do is cement those together so that they stay in place. And let's go ahead and try. There we go. Perfect. All right, so that is going to leave a little bit of the axle out of each side, but that's fine. And it does mean, unfortunately, that we're going to lose the head joint, but I think that's okay because we're just going for a small bird here. We are going to be using these black pieces probably as the feet, so, you know, it's going to kind of hop along. So I think what we're going to do for the body here, so this is going to be interesting. We could do something like... Ooh, I think, I have an idea. But I don't think that's, it's not quite going to work. That's okay. Yeah, so I think we'll do something like this. We'll just put that piece inside there so we get that connection point. That's fine. That works. Do that. Let's, try and move that. Oh, perfect. Did you hear that click too? That was actually really nice. So the reason I did that is so that now this is flat on the back instead of having this piece standing upright, which could get in the way of that axle. So if I do this, now I can put a piece on the back and I can get a little bit of extra detail on it. And that's really cool. So we will go ahead and trying to think of how I want to do wings on here. Something kind of like this, maybe. Let's see. We do still have these double or 3 long friction pins. And we've also got these. So I think we're going to do these on legs. Let's go ahead and throw that on here. Do another one. And actually, we're going to change that up so that the back of the foot has a little bit of a thumb to it, a little bit of a horn or something. Just so that it sits flat on the ground. Because if we do it like this, then it sits at an angle a little bit, and that could actually make the model tip over. So that'll give us a little extra something to go with here. Let's leave that on the table for a second. It is kind of cute though, for real. All right, so we'll go ahead and do another one of those very quickly. And let's see, thinking it's something like this, but then I'm thinking it's a little too big, so let's do up here. Yeah, I think that's, oh yeah, that'll work. So we'll take this off for now. Put these on here. And then this, ooh, that's a really loose one. I don't like that. One moment. It might be the ball joint too. Sometimes it's the ball joint, sometimes it's the socket. That's better than it was, so we'll stick with that for now. See how that goes. All right, it's going to have some wide legs, real wide legs, but that's okay. Part of the charm, as I mentioned before, but that means we're not going to have, let's see here. So this piece isn't necessary to be in here. So I think we're going to take it back because that'll give us the extra socket joint. Uh-oh. Kind of locking the piece in there. There we go. All right, so let's do this. But that way we have 2 sockets left over instead of just one. And that way if we want, we can try and use that last arm there. I'm not sure exactly if that's going to work or not, but we can try. That's part of experimentation is, or part of building rather, is experimentation. Just trying to see what you can come up with. So got these just chunky legs, and I think it's hilarious how big those are right now. It's kind of a, I don't know, like chicken-like, if that, maybe. Yeah, kind of. I think it is. All right, so we got some interesting things here. If I could get one more socket, how many are we using right now? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 7 total, so we are using all but 2, which is a bit unfortunate. I'm trying to think real quick. Because we could do something else to try and free up this socket on the back, which I think we're going to do. So we are going to take the body apart for a second. There we go. And take that back socket off. One moment. So now we're just left with this again, and we're going to retry to connect the body. But instead of the way we were doing it, we're going to try something. Maybe. Let's see. We're going to try reorienting things to see if we can get the head to connect to the torso here without using a socket so that we can free up the extra socket. Because what I'm thinking I want to do is use that 3rd socket and the ball joint to connect the wings. And then use the... Alright, so... Oh, okay, hold on. I got something here. Maybe. Yeah, I think I got something. Okay. Alright, so let's go ahead and do this socket here. Or this friction pin here. Do this right here. It's a little less fortunate because it does mean we're going to lose that kind of angle that the body was at, which I really liked. But if it means that we're going to get the right pieces to do this, then we will make that sacrifice, and I think that that's okay. So we'll go ahead and do another one of those. And that number 2 axle is fine. Actually, no, we'll save that because we don't need it right now. Um, you know what? Here, in fact, let's get that friction pin back out too. Because we can use that connection point for 2 connections instead. So if we stick a 3 axle through here, right there, now we can use that point to attach the legs also. So we'll do the same on this side, and it uses a 3 axle, which we have way more of. So we go ahead and do that, and then we get the legs kind of like this, and I may change that up to be sideways. Yeah, I think we'll do sideways actually, so that the legs can bend further forward as well. And then let's see here. So we are going to oh, nope, pop that out of the socket on accident. That's okay. Let's see. I think we can do this. I'm not positive yet. Okay, so let's take this back out. Because we're going to use that. Yeah, okay. Okay, I think we'll do that. That's fine. All right. So let's do this. This. And take one of those legs back off. Now we're at this point. So, again, doing a little bit of experimentation, but trying to check things out. So we pulled one of those off. We're going to try and do that. There we go. Perfect. All right, so let's get this ball in here. This in here. Unfortunately, that ball does not have a lot of clutch power, but it'll probably work for now. And then this here. Now, there we go. Now you can kind of see where we're going for. So these ball socket pieces will give us attachment points for the wings. That's what we're after. So we'll connect this back to the body again. And then we've got this open here. I'm not sure if we're going to do anything with it just yet. There are some things we can do with it. We can be a little sneaky and get ourselves a attachment without using a socket by doing something specific. But for now, let's go ahead and move this around. And I think I want to move those wings higher, actually. So we're going to do something like this, I think. Something a little better. Uh-oh, squirrels on the roof. That's fine. So something maybe like that, or maybe like that. Not really sure exactly what we're going for yet. Unfortunately, we're having... Oh, hold on one moment. So right now, the head can still move, which I'm not sure I want because it allows this to also move. So let me try and figure out if there's a way for us to do something a little different. Because now we're not connecting the head to the body at 2 locations, but rather just 1. So we don't need it to be located exactly where it is right now. So if we move this back further, do that. Okay, so that frees up this axle hole up here. So now we can use that to attach the wings. Let's try that. And if we do that, then we're going to have to, let's see. Ooh, oh, this is interesting. Okay, well, not sure now because that conflicts with the torso. So I'm not sure that's what we're gonna do because now we've got this chunk, this mass of body coming out. So I think we're going to restart the torso again and try something else. Let's go ahead and do this back to this orientation and see what we can get out of that, maybe? I don't know. So I'm thinking this, but then we get this chunk sticking out of the top of the head, which we're also trying to avoid, or I'm trying to avoid it anyway. One other thing we can do, we can put the axle through the back of the head and use that attachment point, see what that gets us. Wait, hold on, there might be something to this. Okay. So now we've got this ball joint right here exposed, which we can connect to. It also leaves this all open, this open down here. That's good. Okay, yeah, we can go with it. We can work with that. So now let's see. Because I can still connect. Let's see this. I can't connect that yet, but I can connect it to there and use that. Let's try. Okay, so we'll put an axle through this hole here and use the socket and the ball in that point. Right now it can move around, but not much, so it's not a huge deal. And let's see, we can get this kind of shape going on. And now we've still got those legs free, and we've got a 5 axle free. Let's do something with that. I'm not sure we need anything between here right now. I mean, it can give us a tail. Perhaps. I mean, yeah, it can. It can kind of give us a tail. Okay, we'll look at it. We'll see if we like that. I'm going to go dark gray because I think that I like that just a little better than the light gray here. We got the chrono holder now as a bit of a tail. And then we've got, let's see, leg here. And a leg on the other side. So we do have both those things going on. See, so what I wanted to do with the tail... actually, hold on. Let's take that back off for a second. Because we've still got the visor, too, which I think would be a much more compelling piece to use for the tail. And if we do it like this... like that... oh, like this... then we can stick a piece in the front here to prevent it from going forward. And it's almost completely locked going backward, too. Okay, let's do that. That works. Let's check that out for a second. Put that here. Let's put this back here. Take that axle back out for a second. This, and I'm just choosing to use the... come to think about it. There it is. Okay. The black 3 long... double connector there, or double pin, just so that we don't have to use our light gray, so it keeps us out of that color right now. Because right now we have no light gray on the model, so if we can avoid using light gray and just keep the black, I think that'll look just a little bit better. Alright, cool. And now we got foot. Now we got another foot. Alright, so it is coming out to be a little bit bigger than I was hoping for, but I'm not mad about this. This is still a combiner model after all, and that's pretty impressive in my opinion. So now we're going to go with this here, and I think we're going to do the wings beneath. Let's try that. See if we like the wings looking like... yeah, okay, I can see that. That's kind of nice. The clutch power, again, is going to be a bit annoying, but... not much we can do about it just yet. Alright, and originally I was going to do that something with that ball joint here too, but I'm not sure. Actually, yeah, let's do something here real quick. So I'm going to change this instead so we can get rid of that ball, because that's kind of the weak point right now. That ball keeps making things fall out. But if we do this, then... the problem is, so this is at a 45-degree angle, right? The ball allows us to achieve that angle, but nothing else here seems to, unless we can connect it to a pinhole. So the way we can do that is to use this piece, this dark gray piece here. I think it's the only thing we can use too. So if we take this down... and move that. So now we have this axle here. Now we can get that in here. Actually, let's change the length of that axle real quick. Just so it's not sticking out quite so far. Okay, let's do that. Now we can push this up here. And actually, before we do that, let's do that. There we go. That's good. Perfect. And I think I like the wings facing the other way. I do, but I like them on the bottom. Okay. There we go. And push the axle all the way through. And I think that's about it. So we've got... Oh, yeah, I think that'll do it. Let's go ahead and push some of this back real quick. See what we've got here. Okay, and it does leave us with a decent amount of pieces still. Yeah, I think that's kind of cute. I think that works out really well. You get the tail here with the windscreen piece. So you get the little bit of plumage and stuff. And it can move around a little bit, but it's not going to move a lot. Not that that's a bad thing either. But you get the clawed feet here. So, and I mean, if you wanted the white, you could add these pieces onto it. But I'm not going to try and do that. I don't think the white is necessary. There's none of it elsewhere on the model. And your wings, you know, you can get them to kind of fold forward if you want. You can flap them back, make it look like it's beating its wings or getting ready to take off or something. And